Tell me about your arrival at prison and some of the things that you experienced while inside.
Uh, I remember I arrived to prison, man. I remember we was on a transport train. A lot of guys were crying, and I remember saying, I ain't gonna show no weakness because the guys that had already been to prison, they was telling me, you can't show that weakness. I know I'm about 160 pounds, man. But I feel like a big man. And I remember we get to the back gate, and man, life like, man, it was like it was another world, man.
Yeah.
I was mentally, I'm thinking I'm prepared for this,
Mm-hmm.
but man, I get to the back gate, bro. Man, I'm seeing guys like 200-300 pound, muscle bound, cuts, you know what I'm saying, on their face, and you know what I'm saying. I'm like, good God, man, how am I finna off from this? But luckily, it was a processing camp, Cuba Correctional Facility, man. Worst place I've been to in my life. Uh, no matter what case you get through, no matter what kind of case you get, non-violent, violent, everybody process through processing. So we get through the processing camp, and we locked in here for weeks until they do all your testing, your tuberculosis, HIV. And I remember, man, everybody in on panic. We all street guys, man, and they coming in with the hazmat and the red bag. You know what I'm saying? If you come down with something, and I remember thinking, man, I had been in the streets, so I'm like, man, so I probably be like I've been messed up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm so scared of them coming to get me. And I remember staying up every night until my results came back. And I remember them coming to get different guys. And I remember one night they come get the guy beside me. And I'm like, oh man, they finna come get me. I got that package. You know what I'm saying? So I'm scared, you know what I'm saying?
Clarify with the package what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That HIV, you know what I'm saying? Back then, that was like a death sentence, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, golly, man, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? He could have paid catching me again. But it was the guy next to him, and I remember he cried like a baby. He was like, no, man, not me. And once I got my test results back, everything came back good, man. I did like 2 weeks in processing. In the process, you don't go outside, you don't get no entertainment, ain't no sports. You just stuck in this one spot, and this dorm room built for about 75 people, man. There's literally like 200-300 men in this dorm room,
Right.
and man, everybody trying to play on each other, man, con each other out, man. Scare each other. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to establish the order of who gonna be, top dog in here.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get through that, I go into the permanent party until I get transferred my destination of where I'm gonna go and be stationed at. And I ended up they gave me a destination for they classed me up for what they call Draper, which was called Gladiator School. All young guys, a few OGs, but it was mostly just gang banging. Yeah, man, you got to go for what you know. You ain't no guns and nothing. You got to go in there and survive. And I remember I get transferred to my holding facility. And I remember I get to the back gate, and man, my God, I remember I seen everybody was on the weight pile. They shooting basketball. Everybody got the shirts off, man, they intimidating, sweating. Everybody ripped up, you know what I'm saying? And they throwing the games, you know what I'm saying? What set you belong to, you know what I'm saying? What city you from, homie? You know what I'm saying? I'm from the country. You know what I'm saying? We gang bang. We ain't banging like that, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't no requisite for it. So I never joined no gang, no. I wasn't affiliated with nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was me. I ain't never really believed in no gang. I'm a one man gang. I take care of my own. If it go down, I'm gonna handle my business. And I remember I'm like, bro, I ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody hollering like you know what I'm saying? You better get you something to work with. You know what I'm saying? That means you ain't affiliated. You ain't gonna survive. Like, get you something to work with. You better go in there and buy your knife or get you something, cause boy, we coming. And I remember they was walking out the gate. They was getting it. We had the laundry bags on our back, man. The state bro gang, they done took all the shoes and clothes, all our possessions. We got state clothes on. They're like Chuck Taylors
Mm-hmm.
and state boots. And I remember the guys coming out, they just getting the guys laundry. They're like, let me get your laundry bag, homie. Okay, I see where you're going. You're going to this cell, one cell. Shoot, man, bro. Shoot, I got you, man. Look out, man. You're going to be on field. Money don't transfer, but the first and the 15th. So we getting transferred after the first. We ain't got no money. So they already know right now these guys ain't got no money. They finna pimp them off top. Like, bro, I'm going to feed you, you know what I'm saying, till your bread come, and then you just hit that back up. But
Explain to what's the purpose of those guys meeting y'all at the gate and putting y'all around. Explain what they was
oh
what they
man,
doing.
they picking and choosing. You know what I'm saying? They know they're gonna get you in debt, and they looking in your eyes. They seeing who really ain't got that fight, and if you really ain't gang affiliated, you already ain't protected anyway.
Right.
And a lot of guys, man, they fall for the okie doke from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? They get in debt. They gonna feed them. They gonna feed them little skeeters, what we call skeeter legs, the little joints in prison. Of course they smoking. They ain't got a lot of weed at the time, so they smoking. They smoking in prison. They drinking alcohol. The guys that's got addiction, they popping pills. The guys on psychotropic medication that go to get the psychotropic meds, they getting their medication. They popping pills, and they go in debt from the time they get in there. and they really put themselves in the hole. And I was like, bro, I don't need nobody to get my mat. I don't need nobody to get my bag, bro. And so I remember they were saying, where you from? I was like, bro, I'm from, I tell them where I'm from. You follow. They were like, well, you got your people in Tucson. You better get with them. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get through here. Because, boy, we coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get with your people down there. So they giving me a heads up because I ain't folding. So they give me a heads up. I got some people down here. So I get with my people. 2 on happen to be my cousin. I got a lot of the homies from the street who's locked up. And I remember, man, I get in, and I first walk in the dorm. I remember that I see my bed. I throw my mat on there. My OG up under me. He playing domino. He like, hey, teenager. And that's what my name is stuck with me. He like, hey, teenager. I said, this your bunk? This where you at? I said, yeah, I'm up top. And he was like, oh yeah. And I remember, man, I hear a guy running down the stairs. And I remember the officer was at the bottom of the stairs. He was like trying to see what was going on. So I'm putting my laundry bag and my bunk down. And I remember, man, the guy come down, he bleeding, he stabbed, man. He stabbed in like 2, 3 spots. And the officer say, you all right? I'm just walking in the gate. And I remember the officer, you gonna be all right, bro? And he said, nah, man. They trying to take me out, but I'm finna go back up there and handle my business. Not knowing at the time, this guy that got stabbed, he was like the bully. He was like robbing everybody in the dorm, taking everybody's stuff, stepping down, taking it. Soon they get stove draw, he take the whole stove bag. You know what I'm saying? Take the whole stove. And so they all got together, and they trying to kill him. So he go back upstairs, and I'm like, man, the world going on here? Nobody else going to see what's going on. I'm new, so I'm trying to see what's going on. So I won't have what the stuff looking like. OG like, hey, bro, don't do that, man. You don't get involved in nobody else business. Stand down. I remember I looked up, man, the officer running, the guy jump off the top of the steps, man. They took out running. The officer lead the gates open. Man, I'm almost in a full-fledged ride, man, as soon as I get in. The inmates in the hallway, the officers in the hallway, man, they got mock wringles, and man, tell them to come out. We finna, man, it's crazy. I remember getting on the wall phone. I called my mom. I said, Mama, hey, my money ain't gonna come to the field. I said, you need to send me some money immediately. I said, man, I got to get me something to work with. I said, man, I might not make it home. I might die in this place.
You told your mom.
I called my mom on the wall phone. I said, I might die in this place.
Yeah.
And I said, send me some money ASAP. I said, cause I ain't going out like this. And I remember, man, some of my guys that was in there, man, they was coming to get me every day, like, hey, man, I'm into it with these guys up here, man, and I'm just running back and forth, getting into my homeboy and them beef. And that's how I kind of made a name for myself. That's how the name Teenager stuck with me, because, you know what I'm saying, I walked in it, I'm trying to make a name for myself. You know what I'm saying? We going upstairs, moving furniture, you know what I'm saying? Breaking sinks in the bathroom. We getting down in the bathroom fighting. And my name stuck, so I started earning a reputation, and it stuck with me. And then from there on, man, I learned the game about, you know what I'm saying, how to protect yourself. I remember the guys in the shower, man. I remember I was in like my second week. And I remember walking to the bathroom, and the guy was like, hey, look, you can't use the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? You ain't affiliated, bro. You got to go upstairs. Like, bro, I ain't going upstairs. I sleep downstairs. I'm using the bathroom downstairs, you know what I'm saying? And I remember, man, he was like, well, bro, you go upstairs. So I push him out the way going in, and I'm using the bathroom, but I'm turned towards him using the bathroom where I can see him. And I remember I hear a guy getting slapped up around the wall. I'm like, man, what the world? So I look around the wall, and they got their hands up under the guy neck, and they slapping him, and they got, you know what I'm saying? They jacking out on it. You know what I'm saying? You with it? And he looking at me like, hey, look, tell him I ain't gay. You know what I'm saying? Tell him I ain't in the game, bro. Right. I said, bro, I don't know you like that. I said, bro, you think I'm finna fight for you, bro? You better get about your business. And I remember, man, I woke up the next morning and went back in the bathroom. It was blood all on the wall, man, and feces, and I guess he got turned out, man. You know what I'm saying? And I realized then, man, that the game really don't show no love. You got to survive. You got to survive. And I ended up getting transferred from that place and going to another facility. And about 2.5 years, I stayed there about 2.5 years, and that's when I started writing and reading, trying to. Once my OG sat me down, I had an OG, man. He ended up turning out to be from the same kind of where we from, right. And he humbled me down and sat me down, man. And I ended up like getting back to reading and writing. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started writing my memoirs down. Okay. And so I stayed there like 2.5 years, and I go to another facility. And once I get to this facility, this when I start prison hustling. And I catch a few conspiracy cases in the joint, back and forth the lockup. Man, surviving, man. I get in a few prison rides with my homies, man. We get in some bad prison rides, man. I almost got lost in the system for a little bit.
Talk about the work conditions that you say you had to work outside of where they had y'all like.
Oh yeah, man. I thought we were just gonna lay in my first camp. I thought we were just gonna lay down and do time, man. We was actually, man. Prison was rough, man. They would check us out every day. early in the morning, man. It be cold no matter what the weather is. You checking out every day. And they would work us on the farm, and we would literally march miles and miles and miles with these old crude tools that they done made, man. They be iced over and heavy tools, man, weighing about 30, 40 pounds, and we walk to like miles down the road, man. They had everybody chain gang ready to walk, and we would actually just clear land, man, clear swamp land and knocking down trees. And if we didn't cut nothing, we didn't have nothing to burn, and we froze to death out there. So, we was out there, hacking trees, knocking down weeds, stacking up big piles, and everything was legal on what they call the farm. You know what I'm saying? If you beefing with somebody, you can fight out there, it's legit. So you want to call somebody out, you tell the farm, the farm bosses out there's horses and they own shotguns, and man, it's like a real live slave movie, man. In Alabama, it ain't like you going to in the other city prison, bro. In Alabama, you gonna work, you gonna go on that farm.
Right.
I don't care how much time you get, you going on that farm. I don't care if you're sick, you're injured, they're gonna throw you on the truck and get you on the spot. And you're gonna work when you get there.
Explain to the people how you said essentially prison really saved you.
Yeah, it did because I'm getting transferred from camp to camp. I'm still hustling. I got a good name for myself, and I'm making free world money. I'm getting money sent on the wire, getting money on the, I'm doing real good, taking care of the kids from inside the joint. I'm still me. I'm still finessing my way through the game. I'm still in my function. I'm still in my evil stuff. And I remember, man, I got my parole set up, and I remember it said 18 years. So I wouldn't have came up for parole for 18 years. Now I already been out like 2-3 years, like 3.5 years, somewhere around there. And man, I was like, man, I ain't gonna be able to do 18 years in here. They told me I'd be home in 5. And that was that shock right there. When I got that 18-year parole set up, I realized, man, these people will let you sit in here until you ride and die. And I remember, man, I said, man, I took my money I was hustling, and I hired some attorneys, and we was going back and forth to court, trying to get some of the time off of me. Back and forth, and I'm in the law library, and I'm trying to straighten up, wisen up a little bit, get my record cleaned up. And man, I eventually ended up, they transferred me to like 2 more different prisons. Finally, I get, I'm like 7 years in, 8 years in. Get like 9 years in, I get a relief. The parole board give me a parole cut. You know what I'm saying? We work in the system. I hire some attorneys, and they go speak on my behalf to the parole board. I get a parole cut, and they put me within work release. And so I ended up going to work release. And at this time I done wrote like 2 or 3 books.
What type of books were you writing?
I wrote memoir, journal. You know what I'm saying? Basically a journal of what I went through. I wrote some fiction books, some nonfiction books, and eventually I got into motivational, inspirational writing. And that's what I ended up. That's what I do now. I do motivational, inspirational stuff. But back to this work release, I ended up going to work release. Imagine being locked up all these years, going to a place with no fences. You ain't wearing whites no more. Your parents, your folks send you the box. You got free world clothes on. You got real cash money in your pocket, and they let you go out and get a job. Bro, that was a whole new world for me, and I was still in my function, still in my evil ways. So I go out and get a job, bro, and I'm bringing the work back in the back gate. I got 2, 3. I got a cell phone in the camp, cell phone outside the camp, and if you get caught, you lose your job, and you got to dig tree stumps. And we talking 6 feet, 8 feet in the ground, man. We out here digging tree stumps when we get in trouble. So, every time I get in trouble, man, I pay somebody to go out there dig my stump, man, get back to my job. So I'm still hustling, man, still doing crazy, man. And as it get down to my parole date, man, I shut everything down. I almost had a scare, man. I almost got busted. I come through the back gate. They got the warden, the lieutenant, everybody at the back gate. And usually I can come in the back gate, get an officer some food, some cigarettes, you know what I'm saying, whatever they like, give it to them, and I don't got to strip down. But this particular day, man, I got so much work. And the van driver tell me, he said, hey, look, they got the warden at the back gate. So I give him all the stuff I had. The van driver, because they ain't stripping the van driver down. He finna get ready to go pick up some more inmates from the work and bring them in. So he take the work out for me. And I get away, man. After that, I shut everything down. I ended up going up for parole. And I enrolled in a bunch of programs while I was in prison, long distance dad. I helped pioneer some programs. I ended up becoming a GED tutor in prison. I helped a lot of guys get their GED. I mean, I straightened all the way up, squared all the way up, man. I started actually going to church, faith-based programs. They was letting us go to Free World Church, so I started going to church. Just straightening myself up, man. I'm trying to come home. I got my kid out here, man. I got my family that love me. They've been coming every visit. I'm just doing everything right, man. And finally, when I started doing everything right, man, like some blessings started coming for me. All the wrong I was doing, it was like every time I would do wrong, I would get away for so long and I would take steps back, get in lock up, and I knew I couldn't make parole with a bad record. So I had to clean it up so good that I did so many good accomplishments, man, and enrolled in so many programs while in prison, crime bill programs, drug abuse, substance abuse programs. And it was in them programs where I learned about the psychology of where everything starts. Why we start using the abuse, the trauma. And in the black community, we don't talk about that. All that trauma I went through, man, all that poverty and all that pain, I really had forgot why I even had started it, man, because I repressed it. And in those substance abuse classes, there's a lot of psychiatry and a lot of counseling. You really find out the root cause of how we become who we become. And man, I remember I went up for parole, man, and guys with my kind of record don't make parole. They set y'all 5 years. And I remember, man, I had so many people campaign, my mom, everybody come out for me. And I remember they go in, my sister and them, they go in and put on for me. And I'm doing right.
Yeah.
I made parole on my first time. With all this violence in my jacket, in my past, but that was God. So I make parole on my first time coming up.
Okay.
I knew I had to do it. I had to honor God by doing right after that.
Right.
So, I remember I called home. I said, did I make it? And they tell me, no, you ain't make it. I'm broke down. Oh, God. I'm finna go back behind the fence 5 years and shit. I'm just joking with you. You made it.
Right.
And I just praised God, man. I was so excited, man. And it took me about 3 months to get my home plan together and all that stuff. And I remember the day I walked out of free, man, it was like the angels had come down from heaven, man, and just anointed me, man. It felt so good, man. And it was scary at the same time because I was institutionalized.
Right.
And I was coming home from a hardened world to a soft world. And I remember I was like, man, I'm about to come home, and I got my game plan together, but it was really, I see why it was scary, man. When you do a lot of time and you come back, you gotta understand we had the phones with the antennas on them, the Nokias and the Altels, you know what I'm saying?
So
The big phone.
So the inside world felt like home, and the outside world felt weird to you.
Yeah, I was behind.
Right.
And I come home and I remember all the guys that was like 9, 10 years old, they like 19, 20. These guys now, they doing what I used to do. And I'm seeing these young guys, they're like, man, you remember me, OG? You remember I used to be in the, you know what I'm saying? And I don't remember all the young guys, and the streets done changed.
Right.
Man, they got the smartphones, and you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm like lost, bro. Man, I'm super lost. Social media done kind of took over, man. And man, everything that I knew in my world was a whole different. It was a tech world now. And guys wasn't, they didn't have to take to the streets no more. Guys could do cons and scams, and so when I left, it was always hustling, real world hustling, hand to hand transferring drugs, dope. You know what I'm saying? Stunting cars. Man, when I come back home, man, people went into none of that, man. It was rap music. It guys trying to be rap artists and con game, and man, I was kind of lost, bro.
So what advice would you give to the younger generation, man, to avoid them same mistakes? Those that are in the streets and those that's thinking about jumping in the streets, what advice would you give to them?
I would tell them, man, the streets don't owe nobody nothing, man. No matter how hard you are, no matter how tough you are, man, when you go into that prison, man, I've seen so many guys come home. I don't care about the gold teeth and all that in prison. They expose all that. Them guys with them gold teeth be in that bathroom on their knees.
Right.
So, no matter how tough you is, no matter your image, no matter what you look like, bro, if you go in there perpetrate, and I mind you, I didn't get affiliated. I didn't join the gang. I stood my own. 99% of people going to prison got to join up soon as they get there, or else they're going to be on their knees. So the advice I want to give, man, no matter what you're doing, everything going to come full circle. If you're lucky, you go to prison.
Right.
If you're lucky, if you don't get killed. And man, the only salvation, man, is to turn your life around, man. I gave myself up I gave my life to God, man, and every step I took since then, every venture I've ever tried, everything I've ever tried, man, has been blessed. Everything I've ever done by doing the right thing. Sometimes I run into the wall, hit my head on the wall, but I don't go back to what I used to do.
Right.
Man, I've been out 13 years, not even a traffic ticket. Man, I do my thing. I do my business investments. Whatever idea I have in my mind, I sit down, game plan, formulate it up. And I'm telling these guys, man, what y'all doing in the streets, you can go get on the job now. Man, these guys are paying $18, $19 with no experience.
Yeah.
Man, for those that's out there that's thinking they can get in the street, you make way more money going to clock in at the 19 and overtime, you know what I'm saying, than you would running in the streets. Man, go in, get your job square up and do the right thing, because you change the lineage for your entire family. Not by being in the street. You can change it by being in the street, because you can kill yourself and you hurt your mom, everybody that love you.
Right.
Or you can go in and change your lineage, man. And it ain't always got to be about college. You don't have to be the smartest in school. You just got to be a hard worker. And whatever you do, man, you can get on these jobs, man. These people don't care about your past. Man, they'll put you in management. They give you all the money you need. And you can make $100,000 a year salary, man, coming straight from the streets by just sheer hard work. That $100,000, you ain't gonna make that in the streets. I don't care what you're doing. If you ain't one of the top dogs, you can be out here pole hustling and robbing and stealing. You're not gonna make $100,000 in the streets. But
So before you get to that point, you pretty much gonna burn out and
if you're lucky,
yeah.
if you're lucky, most people end up going to prison at 18, 19 that take to the street. By 21, they in prison, or the rest of them, they get killed violently. That's no other alternative. It's either prison or square out, or death. There's no other alternative. There's no other way to go. And so when you look at your options, you prison or death,
Yeah.
square up seems like the right option.
Right.
And when you square up, man, just think about it. All my guys that I grew up with are dead. They all died violently. My best friend, he died. He got killed by the police right in front of me,
Right.
and I'm trying to save him, and I'm begging the police let me save him. And that's what I'm saying. Even trying to play both sides of the field, he was halfway doing right, still jugging in the streets. And so, man, I watched my best friend die in front of me. The police killed him. They drove down on me, man, wouldn't let me get to him. And even playing both sides of the field, man, you can't jug on, because if you straddle the fence, you just get bit from both sides.
Right.
You got to be all the way squared up, man, and you can make all the money you want in this world. The blessings just rain down. And it's going to still be some hardships, but, man, as long as you don't never go back to what you was doing, you can make it. Because every investment I ever made, man, I've had so much success. I bought multiple homes. All the cars, I haven't driven an old school car in so long, man. Everything I drive is the year model, new model cars. Man, my kids are taken care of. I gave them the best life now. My teenage kids now, they don't have to go through that. They working jobs at teenage, 19 years old, making $80,000 a year with no college degree. I was able to give back to them just by squaring up. That don't happen when you're in the streets.
Right.
You don't change your lineage by being in the street, but you can go clock in and make all the money you want in this world. Or you can become a businessman and then take that money you earn and invest in yourself. Whatever that skill set it is, whatever talent you got, you take it and invest in yourself.
Right. All right, well, man. So appreciate you for sitting down with me, man. We're gonna wrap it up right there, man.
All right, appreciate it.